Hello, hello. I am Shikeola Karimu from Soul Beauty Living, which is a way of being where we use the appreciation of beauty as a doorway to the soul. Welcome to this newsletter where we're going to go about of setting our intentions for 2021. And from the previous newsletter, I have been inviting us, this community, to go about it in a different way. Just like you used to have the various methods that are available to us to set up our intentions and our goals, right? First, we were setting our goals, and then we started moving more towards setting intentions as we were expanding our consciousness and understanding our relationship with the greater life. So, from the previous newsletter, this is the third in this series, I have been sharing a little bit more about what I call the shifts. The shift that I went through, that naturally I am sharing with you as everything that I am looking into studying and receiving. Those tools, then I share it to see how I can support you on your journey. And primarily, this is a spiritual community. It does not mean that we do not want the beautiful, fulfilling life of anybody else out there. It is just we are choosing a different path where we are affirming our identity, our essence as a spiritual being. So, becoming very clear that I am a spiritual being having a human experience. And what does that mean? And so, in the previous newsletter, part one, part two, when I'm talking about the shift, so today I'm going to, in this first video, there's going to be two of them. In this first video, I'm going to spend a bit more time again on that shift, what refining it, the understanding of it, and what does that mean, and how you can continue to sit with it, contemplate it. And then in the second video, we're going to do the intention for the year. So, in this newsletter, what's the shift? What am I talking about? So, being on a spiritual journey, right? We have spiritual principles, and we have been studying these spiritual principles. And one of the things that we have been doing is looking into duality. So, the example that I have for us today is in a previous understanding of being on the spiritual path and still working to eliminate duality. I'm speaking with you, so there is you over there and there is me over here. In removing, in going, as I was sharing that during the shift, the last 5 years for me has been every little belief that was still part of my consciousness were brought up to the surface for me to see what's the true nature of spirit. If I am a spiritual being, what's then the nature, what's the essence of spirit? So if we let's take this example of you are going somewhere and then someone just engaged you in a not very pleasant way. And so let's say, you guys are headbutting and it's like, oh, okay, this person is bullying me or whatever it is, let's call it a fight. In my previous iteration of understanding my spiritual practices, I would be like, okay, I have to hold a space of not responding, of not being aggressive toward this person. I have to hold my own center of being calm, of being balanced. And so not reacting, just holding my space to see how I'm going to respond to this person. And so if you notice in that understanding, there is me here and there is that person over there, And while I'm going about me holding my space, not reacting, but staying centered and working inside of my consciousness to see what response do I want to give to this particular situation, there is still a space of duality. There is me, there is that person, there is something happening, and even if I'm not acknowledging it, maybe somewhere in the back of my mind there is a judgment because this person is coming at me in a way that I am not appreciating, and I am doing my best not to react to the way this person is currently acting. So that was an understanding. Applying my spiritual practice, doing my best to be calm, and finding the best way to address the situation that is before me. In this new space of the shift, and having understood that my relationship with life, right? Because in the newsletters that I have been sending out, it has become, it's everything about my relationship with the greater life. How do I understand me? And in the previous newsletter, I shared how it is the one life right now expressing through me, and there was an exercise to contemplate about if the greater life is expressing through me as me, right? It's not that there is my divine self over there and me over here. If there is this continuum, then what does this mean? This relationship is about bringing our awareness more on the relationship of what is this greater life that I am in, that is expressing through me. So in this new scenario, knowing that I am a spiritual being, so is this other person standing in front of me. And knowing in this new understanding of my spiritual identity, are there two spiritual lives? Are there two lives? Or is there life expressing through each and every one of us? So in this new scenario, I am not trying to be calm and see how am I going to respond instead of reacting. I take the stance that this is life, and I move into the space of witnessing. So I am listening. And if this is life expressing, what is life doing through that person? And so instead of me trying to give a response, I'm start listening to say, what is this? Because there is only one greater life, one intelligence that is coming to me and expressing in that moment. And if I am listening and if I am in the space of a witness, I may perceive some informations that if I am trying to just be calm, respond to this person, do my best not to hurt that person, I may not receive. Maybe this person is coming to me in a way that I don't like, but it's an information that I need. Maybe I have been going through something in my own experience here, and there is some information that I need to receive. Or maybe this person is going through something, and the way this person is expressing themselves may not be the right thing to do, but maybe there is something I can contribute. But the major shift is I am not creating duality, and I am understanding that there is only one life, one intelligence, and I'm paying attention to what this intelligence is doing in this particular moment. Now, if this person is aggressing me, does it mean that I allow this to happen? No, there is only one life, and this is where we go into, do I understand the nature, the essence of spirit? So if I rise into the consciousness of my higher self, of my divine self, in the nature of the divine self, is the divine going to go about hurting the divine? No. And so I affirm this knowledge inside of me that this person no matter what is going on, cannot hurt me, because the divine that is expressing for this person would know this divine. But if I have to rise in consciousness to know this truth, for this truth to be, I know it's a bit more work. I know it's a bit more uncomfortable, because the concept out there that we have been going through is there is that world out there. That world is dangerous. I have got to defend myself against that world. I have got to struggle to make things happen. And choosing to step into the shift, yes, will require some adjustment. Yes, will require that we do some work. Yes, will require that we trust in a different way. But you know what? As always, when we do the work, on the other side of it, there are the benefits. And so there is this space where there is less struggle. There is a realization that if life is doing its thing through me, I'm stepping more and more into the witness space. And it's really about more listening. There is some effortlessness that comes about. And I don't want to overwhelm you, but this is part of it. It is really us starting having a new relationship with this greater life and distinguish the concepts that society, cultures, our tribal mentalities have been giving us, and stepping more and more into understanding and going about the true nature of spirit, life expressing through each and every one of us. So I hope I helped to instill really what that shift is about. It's going to take a while naturally, right? For that to become a new space within you. So I am going to end the first video here. As always, I would love to hear about your comments, about your questions, about your feedback. And I will see you in video number 2, but how then to establish our intentions for 2021. Thank you for listening. I am Shikeola Karimu, and I am the creatress of Soul Beauty Living, which is a new way of being where we are using beauty, the appreciation and the receiving of beauty as a platform to align with our divine self and embody it.